My fiancée donated part of her liver to her childhood sweetheart, and I was asked to go to the hospital to take care of him. Outside the hospital room, I overheard her talking with her best friend. Sean Jiang will definitely be so moved that he'll have to marry you after you donate most of your liver to him. Linda Lin shook her head. My dad said whoever marries me has to take over our clothing factory. I don't want Sean Jiang to give up his own dreams for me. So you're willing to marry Ethan Chen? I'll divorce Ethan Chen after Sean Jiang wants to settle down. I turned and left, sending a message to Sarah. Sarah, I want to try out for that musical you mentioned. You can really come to perform? Sarah couldn't help but call me. Yes, give me a few days. Once I've taken care of things here, I can rush over to join the rehearsals. But, aren't you about to get engaged? Will your fiancé agree? I was silent for a moment. I'm not planning on getting engaged to her anymore. Are you really sure? Sarah asked cautiously. Yeah, I'm planning to break up. The day Sean Jiang went abroad, Linda Lin was drunk as a skunk at a bar. I took her back to my apartment and took care of her all night. When she woke up, we exchanged contact information. 3 months later, she became my girlfriend. Linda Lin's father was in poor health and ran a small clothing factory. After we confirmed our relationship, I gave up my job and dealt with all parties at the factory, getting my hands dirty. Linda Lin, on the other hand, was responsible for eating, drinking, and having fun everywhere. Not only did she spend money lavishly, but she also always ordered me around condescendingly. Even my salary and commissions from working at the factory were deposited into her account. She demanded that I do her laundry, cook, and take care of her after work every day. After we got together, she hadn't even picked up a single package or washed a single pair of socks. Linda Lin's friends all said I was her lapdog, and like her, they looked down on me from the bottom of their hearts. But I was willing to give everything for her, just to see her face every day, and because someone once told me that they hoped her family could be happy. We dated for more than 2 years, and her parents were very satisfied with me. Marriage was naturally on the agenda. But 2 months before our engagement, Sean Jiang returned from abroad. He had severe liver failure and needed a liver transplant. Linda Lin, afraid that something might happen to Sean Jiang while waiting for a liver source, volunteered to donate part of her liver to him. She spent money to send Sean Jiang to the best private hospital and cooperated with him for a series of hospital checkups. Before this, Linda Lin had also indirectly asked me if I was willing to donate. Unfortunately, my blood type and Sean Jiang's didn't match. I thought that even if Linda Lin didn't love me, she would have at least some affection for me after my 2 years of devotion to her. Now it seems that I was just wishful thinking. Since she loves Sean Jiang so much, I should make way for their great love. I returned home and packed up my belongings. In a box deep in the closet was a photo album. I opened the photo album and flipped through the photos, one by one. These photos recorded the best days of my college life. We rehearsed together, performed together, celebrated New Year's Eve together, and spent every busy and happy day together. I will never forget the pure and beautiful girl in the photos for the rest of my life. I sat on the floor, lit a cigarette, and held it in my hand. Ethan Chen, where the hell are you? Why aren't you here yet? Linda Lin sent an impatient voice message. Are you trying to starve me to death? Get your ass over here. I sighed. Since I wanted to break up, it was always better to say it in person. And I also had to tell Linda Lin's father that I was leaving the clothing factory. Uncle Lin, Linda Lin is in the hospital. Is it convenient for you to come over? After sending the hospital address, I put my few belongings into the trunk and drove to the hospital again. I bought chicken noodle soup and 2 muffins in the hospital cafeteria and took them to the hospital room. When I arrived, only Linda Lin was in the room. She was lying on the bed, playing with her phone boredly. When she saw me, she frowned involuntarily. Why are you so slow? Do you know that Katie has been taking care of me all day? What are you good for? Accusations and complaints came out of her mouth. Eat something. I put the food on the bedside table. Why did you buy food? Didn't I tell you to make it for me yourself? The clothing factory is busy today, Ethan Chin. Linda Lynn's voice was filled with anger. Just because the factory is busy, you cannot come to take care of me and not cook for me? I'm a patient. I just had most of my liver cut out, and I need a lot of nutrition. Is this how you treat me? I opened the disposable lunchbox, you volunteered. No one forced you. How can you be so cold-blooded? That's a life. How could I stand by and watch someone die? You've done so much for Sean Jiang, hasn't he said how he's going to repay you? Linda Lynn rolled her eyes at me. You said it yourself that I volunteered. I don't need him to repay me. Donating a liver is no small matter. Whether you need it or not, and whether he's grateful or not, are two different things. This is between him and me. It's none of your business, Linda. Linda Lynn's parents' arrival interrupted her. How could you do something that doesn't cherish your own body? Aunt Lynn's eyes were swollen, probably from crying all the way here. Uncle Lynn, seeing Linda Lynn lying on the bed with a pale face, was trembling with anger. Dad. Mom. I'm fine. I just have a minor illness. Linda Lynn was a little guilty. Don't lie. Ethan has already told us. He's such a busybody. Linda Lynn glared at me resentfully. Aunt Lynn sat by the bed, tears streaming down her face. You know that your father and mother have already lost your sister. Oh, Mom, don't cry. Linda Lynn took Aunt Lynn's hand. Sean Jiang and I grew up together, after all. I couldn't just watch him die, could I? It's just a minor surgery. I can be discharged from the hospital after a few days. After resting at home for a while, my liver will grow back to its original size. Don't worry. Uncle Lynn stamped his feet angrily. You can't be so reckless. Ethan, you too. You're getting engaged in 2 months. Why didn't you persuade her? Why didn't you tell us in advance? Uncle Lynn felt sorry for his daughter lying in bed and vented his anger on me. I smiled wryly. I tried to persuade her, but she wouldn't listen. Linda said that Sean Jiang is the most important person in her heart. If he delays his treatment because of this, she told me to pay him with my life. Uncle Lynn was stunned and pointed at Linda Lynn. You. How can you say such nonsense? Ethan is the one who will be with you for the rest of your life. Then he looked at me apologetically. Linda was being inconsiderate this time. Thank you for taking good care of her. Don't go to the factory for the next 2 days. I bowed to them politely. Uncle, Aunt, thank you for your trust and care over the past 2 years. After careful consideration, I don't think Linda and I are suitable for each other. I am also moved by the love between her and Sean Jiang, so I decided to let go and fulfill them. Everyone was stunned, especially Linda Lynn. Her eyes widened as if she had heard a joke. Ethan, don't misunderstand, Uncle Lynn, there's nothing to hand over at the factory, and I won't be going there anymore. After all, I haven't taken a penny of salary in the past 2 years. No, Uncle Lynn quickly grabbed my arm. You and Linda have already reached the point of discussing marriage, and you've been living together for so long. How can you say break up just like that? You're a man, you have to be responsible for Linda. So, I was supposed to be responsible. Uncle Lynn, Linda and I have always lived separately. She lives in the master bedroom, and I live in the guest room. During the 2 years of our relationship, I have never crossed the line. So, I don't need to be responsible for her. Linda Lynn raised her hand and knocked over the chicken noodle soup on the bedside table. Dad! Let him go! Break up then! Who cares about him? Aunt Lynn stood up abruptly. Oh, Linda! You just had a large part of your liver cut out. You can't get angry. Then she looked at me unhappily. Ethan, you're really something. You made Linda angry right after her surgery. I looked at Aunt Lynn calmly. Yeah, I won't anymore. Uncle, Aunt, I'll go first. After saying that, I turned and walked out of the hospital room. Behind me came Linda Lynn's angry voice. Don't beg him. He's just my lapdog. He'll definitely come back to beg me before tomorrow. I spent more than 10 hours driving to the city where Sarah was. After arriving, I rented an apartment, cleaned it up simply, and moved in. The next day, Sarah took me to their theater company. Some energetic younger students were rehearsing inside, and everyone was very serious. There's a very important supporting role in this play. We've tried a few baritones, but we weren't satisfied. You played similar roles in college, so I wanted you to give it a try. We tacitly didn't mention Linda Lynn again. But a day later, I received a call from her just as I started rehearsing. Ethan Chin, haven't you caused enough trouble? You haven't come to see me in the hospital for 2 days. If you don't come over again, I'm really going to call off our engagement. I remained silent. Sean Jiang has already come out of the ICU today. Bring some easy-to-digest food over for the two of us to eat. You also know that my parents are not in good health, and they can't take care of me for too long, Linda Lynn. I couldn't help but interrupt her. We've already broken up. How long are you going to be angry? Haven't I already taken the initiative to call you and given you a way out? Linda Lynn's voice was sharp. I don't need your way out. Then what do you want? I could feel that she was suppressing her anger. I want you to never bother me again. Ethan Chen. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure. Okay. Linda Lynn hung up angrily. As soon as I hung up, Aunt Lynn's call came. Ethan, can you come to the hospital first so we can talk it over properly? I'm sorry, Aunt Lynn, but I'm in another city 800 kilometers away. I explained patiently. Then, when are you coming back? I won't be going back. What? You won't be coming back? I was a little speechless. That's right, I've already made it clear that Linda Lynn and I have broken up. Bang. The sound of glass breaking came from the phone. Linda Lynn shouted angrily, who cares about him? Hang up the phone. Even if Ethan Chin kneels at my feet and begs me, I won't forgive him. Until now, they still thought that I loved Linda Lynn to death and couldn't live without her. I had tried many times to forget the past and fall in love with Linda Lynn. But every time, I failed. I quickly integrated into the theater company with the other actors. Driven by their youthful enthusiasm, I quickly got into the state. I felt like I had returned to 3 years ago, to the rehearsal site of the graduation show in my senior year. I completely immersed myself in the role, wearing gorgeous costumes, following the music, singing and performing with abandon. My efforts were recognized by everyone, and I successfully joined. A week later, I finally officially stepped onto the stage and completed the premiere of the musical with everyone. The performance was a great success, and the applause was thunderous. During the curtain call, I finally couldn't help but cry. For 3 whole years, I gave up my major and career, chasing after Linda Lynn, trying to use her to heal the pain in my heart, but in the end, I had nothing. I posted photos of the performance on social media with a caption, 3 years later, I'm finally back to being myself. Not long after posting, Linda Lynn's phone call came. Ethan Chen, what do you mean by the post you just made? You actually ran off to perform in a musical? I didn't know you could sing. Come back, I've been discharged from the hospital and don't need you to take care of me anymore. In a little over a month, we're getting engaged. If you keep throwing a tantrum, I won't be able to explain it to our relatives and friends. I didn't understand how everyone in her family couldn't understand what people were saying. Until now, you still think I'm throwing a tantrum? Linda Lin sighed. I know you're doing this because you love me. You feel sorry for me and you're jealous of Sean Jiang. I promise you, I'll try to contact Sean Jiang less in the future, okay? Do you think I love you? I asked back. Of course. You're so good to me, you indulge me in everything. I know it all. My parents have been sick from taking care of me these past few days while you've been gone. I'm getting discharged tomorrow. Can you come pick me up, please? Linda Lin rarely acted coquettishly with me. Linda Lin. Actually, I don't love you. Once I stopped deceiving myself, all that was left of my feelings for her was disgust. You're lying. How could you not love me? Linda Lin's voice changed abruptly. Linda, my wound hurts a little. It was Sean Jiang's voice. Why would it hurt? Quickly press the bell for the doctor. I sneered and hung up the phone directly. Then, I deleted Linda Lin and her parents' phone numbers and social media accounts and blacklisted them. I signed a 2-year contract with the theater company and started the musical's national tour. I was either on the road, rehearsing, or performing. We went to different cities, and every performance was very successful. I really liked and enjoyed this busy and fulfilling state. It turned out that living for myself was so happy. During this time, Linda Lin changed several numbers to call me. As soon as I heard her voice, I hung up. Since she couldn't reach me, she kept sending me text messages. Ethan Chen, what exactly did you mean by what you said that day? There's only half a month left until the engagement. Are you really not coming back? I didn't consider your feelings when I donated my liver to Sean Jiang. I apologize to you. It won't happen again. I was wrong. Please come back. The engagement is next week. Where are you now? I'm coming to find you. Ethan Chen, are you really going to abandon me? I didn't reply to a single one. I didn't think she really felt she was wrong. She just wasn't used to days without someone taking care of her. I bought a new phone card and threw the old one in the trash. The theater company performed 3 consecutive shows in New York City, and every show was sold out. After the performance, everyone was planning to go out for hot pot together. Sarah and I were walking out while recapping today's performance. Just as we walked out of the theater door, we saw Linda Lin standing under the streetlights. She had lost a lot of weight in the 2 months we hadn't seen each other. After seeing me, she suddenly rushed over, grabbed Sarah's arm, and shouted frantically, Ethan Chen. You don't want to come back and get engaged to me because of this bitch, right? I didn't expect it. You usually pretended to love me so deeply. It turns out you've already changed your heart. What right do you have to talk about Sean Jiang and me? Aren't you also cheating on me behind my back? Linda Lin. I tried hard to pull Linda Lin away but found that her eyes were red. Do you know what day it is today? Tears welled up in her eyes. Today was supposed to be our engagement day. But you didn't show up. She looked at me aggrievedly, accusing me of my crimes. Give me an answer right now. Are you choosing her or me? Just as I was about to speak, Sarah spoke first. You're Lily Lin's sister, Linda Lin, right? Then you should have heard your sister mention me. I was her college classmate and her roommate. My name is Summer Sue. And Ethan Chen is your sister's boyfriend. Lily Lin was 1 year older than me and was my senior in college. The first time I saw her was at the freshman welcome party. She, Summer Sue, and several other female students performed 16 going on 17. The moment I saw Lily Lin, I was attracted by her temperament. After the performance, I inquired about her everywhere. Unsurprisingly, she already had a boyfriend, a piano major from the class next door. Yes, how could a girl as outstanding as her not have a boyfriend? But even though she had a boyfriend, I couldn't help but like her. I had a crush on Lily Lin for 2 whole years, always unable to control myself from wanting to peek at her. In my junior year, her class was rehearsing their graduation play, and they needed a baritone. So I was borrowed by the teacher. I finally had the opportunity to rehearse and perform with Lily Lin, and I could finally stand in front of her openly. At that time, Lily Lin had already broken up with her boyfriend. Under my care and consideration, she became my girlfriend. We spent a wonderful and sweet time together. Later, she was successfully admitted to graduate school at our university with excellent grades. Later, she was sent to the hospital because of a ruptured blood vessel while taking a self-defense class outside of school and never woke up. Her life stopped in the year I loved her the most. I was immersed in grief and couldn't accept her departure. A year later, I graduated from college. I took a train alone to Lily Lin's hometown. I sat in front of her grave for a long time, crying and talking about my longing for her. But the more I did, the sadder I became. So I decided to look around, to see what the city she grew up in was like. I wanted to follow in her footsteps and take a good walk here, as if she were still by my side. Unexpectedly, I met Linda Lin, who was drunk as a skunk, in front of a bar. I greedily looked at her face, which was very similar to Lily Lin's, and finally decided to stay for her sake. Linda Lin's face changed drastically, and her eyes were filled with anger and shock. "You actually treated me as a substitute for my sister? Has all the good you've done for me for the past 2 years been fake? You don't love me at all, do you? Ethan Chen. You've been lying to me for so long." I shook my head. "I never treated you as a substitute for your sister, nor have I ever lied to you, nor have I ever said that I love you." Linda Lin was stunned. She seemed to finally remember. After Sean Jiang went abroad, she indulged in great sadness every day. Under my care and comfort, she took the initiative to ask me if I wanted to be her boyfriend. During the 2 years of our relationship, although I indulged her without limits, I never said that I loved her. "Why? Why did you treat me like this?" Linda Lin roared. "Because your sister once said that she chose to pursue her dreams, and you had to stay at home to take over everything, including taking care of your parents. As a sister, she was very grateful to you and felt sorry for you. So I wanted to take care of you in her place." I looked at Linda Lin with an unusually calm expression. "So you agreed to be my boyfriend and help my dad run the clothing factory?" "Yes." "So we've been together for so long, and you've never loved me?" "Yes." I tried to love her. But her bossiness, rudeness, unreasonableness, and laziness dissuaded me. And I couldn't bear to part with the face that resembled Lily Lin. Anyway, I couldn't forget Lily Lin. If I had to choose someone I didn't love to marry, then I might as well choose Linda Lin. If I hadn't donated part of my liver to Sean Jiang, were you planning to take care of my family for Lily Lin for the rest of your life? Yes. Slap. Linda Lin raised her hand and slapped me. "Ethan Chen, if you wanted to deceive me, then deceive me for the rest of my life. Why did you want to quit before our engagement? Have you ever cared about my feelings at all?" She roared at me hoarsely. I didn't understand. Linda Lin clearly didn't like me, so why did she have to pretend to be hurt and question me? Didn't you and Katie say that the only person you love is Sean Jiang, and that if you wanted to settle down, you would divorce me for him? In that case, wouldn't it be better if I quit directly and let you two lovers be together? Linda Lin was stunned and stood motionless. "So, you knew all along?" "Yes, I knew it a long time ago." Linda Lin left. But a few days later, I saw her again. She was holding a bouquet of flowers, sitting in the front row of the audience, quietly watching me. After the performance, I was removing my makeup in the dressing room. Linda Lin was holding flowers and waiting quietly at the door. "Why are you here again?" Linda Lin's eyes were red. "I came to see you perform." I was a little surprised. From what I knew of her, she had absolutely no interest in music. And she was tone deaf. No matter what song she sang, it was always the same tune. I wanted to see what the real you is like, what you're like on stage. Oh. I was a little surprised. What am I like? Tears streamed down Linda Lynn's cheeks. Like my sister, you shine with dazzling light when you stand on the stage. Until now, I realized what you gave up when you chose to stay with me. It was my fault. I didn't cherish you, I didn't treat you well. Ethan Chin, I didn't realize that I had already fallen in love with you until you left completely. Can you give me another chance? After saying that, she handed me the flowers in her hand. The moment I took them, she threw herself into my arms. I reached out and pushed her away. Thank you for the flowers, but there's no way we can go back. Why? Because Sean Jiang is still waiting for you. Linda Lynn was a little anxious. But, Ethan Chen. The props teacher told me to urge you to return the clothes. The prop box needs to be loaded onto the truck. A colleague called me from backstage. Okay. I'll be right there. Go back, don't worry your parents. After saying that, I turned and left. Ethan Chen. Linda Lynn's voice was sharp. You just abandoned our family like this. How can you be worthy of my sister? I didn't look back. I think Lily Lynn would rather see me be myself again. But Linda Lynn didn't leave. She sat in the front row of every performance in every city. Every time the performance was over, she waited for me backstage. Slowly, my colleagues got a little annoyed. When they passed by Linda Lynn, they deliberately said loudly, she clearly has a fiancé, but she's still ambiguous with other men. What kind of love is she trying to show now? She has great love, but I don't. If you asked me to donate an organ to my husband, I'd have to hesitate. Those two should just be locked together. Who are they trying to disgust every day? Linda Lynn lowered her head, not resisting or leaving. After more than a month, Sean Jiang finally came after her. So, that night, the person standing at the backstage door waiting for me changed from 1 to 2. Since Sean Jiang is here, you should go. Ethan Chin, Sean Jiang hesitated to speak. I didn't want to affect the relationship between you and Linda, I was just afraid of losing my life, that's why I didn't refuse her donation, I nodded. It's human nature. I understand. But since Linda Lynn has given so much for you, whatever you repay her is what you should do. Yes, I know. I will treat Linda well. As Sean Jiang said this, he reached out to take Linda Lynn's hand, but she broke free. Ethan, don't misunderstand. Nothing happened between Sean Jiang and me. She hurriedly explained. Linda, I endured the pain of my illness to come and find you. Are you going to abandon me? Sean Jiang's voice was full of grievance, and his face looked pitiful. Tisk, I couldn't help but sigh. What a good actor! I didn't want to abandon you, Sean Jiang bit his lip lightly, and his wet eyes were a little red. But I love you too. I want to be with you. Linda Lynn looked at him in shock. Linda, if even you don't love me, what's the point of me living? Sean Jiang said, and began to cry. I didn't say I don't love you. Linda Lynn was at a loss. Then if you love me, come back with me, okay? I have to go to the hospital for a checkup in a few days, boo-hoo, okay, I promise you. Linda Lynn glanced at me reluctantly, and finally left with Sean Jiang. I sneered. As expected, only Sean Jiang could handle Linda Lynn. It was the right choice to reveal the news of Linda Lynn being here to him. After a while, I heard that Linda Lynn and Sean Jiang were engaged. Half a year later, I heard that they were married. I was truly happy for her that she and her childhood sweetheart were able to get married. After 2 years of touring, I immediately threw myself into a new musical. The busy rehearsals gradually made me forget Linda Lynn. Even Lily Lynn became a blur in my mind. I had gotten used to performing all over the country with the theater company. In my spare time, I would sample the snacks of different cities and visit the parks of different cities. 3 years passed like this, and the theater company came to the city where Lily Lynn was located. I took the time to send a bouquet of flowers to her grave and talk to her for a while. Lily, I have a new life now. I probably won't come to see you again in the future. I hope you can be reincarnated soon and return to this beautiful world. When I left the cemetery, I saw Linda Lynn. I hadn't seen her in 3 years. She had become much darker, and her eyes revealed endless fatigue. Can we talk? Linda Lynn and I went to a coffee shop together. I looked at her in silence, not knowing what to say. Actually, after you left, our whole family was very uncomfortable. I often think of you, of how good you were to me before, of eating the meals you cooked for me. My dad also misses you very much. After you left, he had to go to the clothing factory every day and work until very late to come home. I sneered in my heart. Their missing me was completely based on my bottomless devotion. What about Sean Jiang? Can't he help? I interrupted her. Him? Linda Lynn sneered. Although he had a liver transplant, his body is still different from a normal person. He has to take medicine every day and have regular checkups. He can't be tired, can't stay up late, can't get angry, can't drink, and should even try to avoid the sun as much as possible. Linda Lynn sighed heavily after speaking. Not only do I have to go to work at the factory, but when I get home from work, I have to take care of him. Once he feels unwell, we have to go to the hospital immediately. I listened quietly as she complained to me about the hardships of married life. I had never seen this side of Linda Lynn before. In my impression, she had always been lively, flamboyant, and high above others. Her family's clothing factory was very profitable. Although it wasn't a huge fortune, it was much better than ordinary families. Ever since Lily Lynn's accidental death, Uncle Lynn and Aunt Lynn had treated her like a treasure and spoiled her rotten. When we were together, even if she bossed me around all day long, I never said a harsh word to her. She was like a little princess, and didn't need to worry about anything except catering to Sean Jiang. After complaining, Linda Lynn looked at me seriously. I never cared about your efforts for me before. When you said that you were with me because of my sister, I was very angry. It wasn't until after I got married and experienced so many things that I realized how hard you worked back then. I know I was wrong, I was terribly wrong. This time, I just want to ask you, if I divorce Sean Jiang, is there any chance for us to be together? I stared at her in surprise. Just as I was about to refuse, she grabbed my hand tightly. My sister and I look very much alike. I can dress up like her. I can even imitate her expressions and tone. As long as you are willing to forgive me, I am willing to be her substitute for the rest of my life. Linda Lynn, you're crazy. I didn't expect her to say such a thing. I'm not crazy. I'll really go crazy if I don't get a divorce. I've had enough. I don't want to serve that delicate invalid anymore. I struggled to pull my hand away. You said it yourself, you love Sean Jiang. You've sacrificed so much for him, how can you bear to divorce him? Linda Lynn sneered dismissively, it's because I've given too much and been entangled in the trivialities of life, but I haven't gotten anything in return. Wasn't I the same? A hint of mockery flashed in my eyes. What did you say? Linda Lynn was a little confused. I said, I was the same. I spent more than 2 years, sacrificing my career, both going to work at your family's clothing factory and cooking and doing laundry for you. Aren't you just like I was back then? Linda Lynn was silent. Just then, the door of the coffee shop was pushed open. Daddy! A little girl in a pretty dress ran in and threw herself into my arms. I reached out and picked her up. "Where's Mommy?" "Mommy's behind us, she'll be here in a minute." The little girl hugged my face and kissed me. "Daddy, can you buy me a strawberry ice cream?" "I really want one." "You have to ask Mommy first." Is that your daughter?" Linda Lynn looked incredulous, staring intently at the little girl in my arms, her voice trembling. "Yes." I nodded. You have a daughter." Linda Lynn's face was pale, and she was scratching her hands. "Yes, she's 3 years old." Ha 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 ha, she suddenly laughed. "Ethan Chen, it seems that your feelings for my sister weren't that deep after all." "Ethan! Yo-Yo! Are you guys okay?" Summer Sue walked towards us. "So it really is you." Linda Lynn's eyes flashed with endless hatred as she glared at Summer Sue. "Miss Lynn, no one will stand still and wait for you to come to your senses. Besides, aren't you already married?" Summer Sue replied politely. "Mommy, can I have a strawberry ice cream? Daddy promised me just now." Yo-Yo's words interrupted the tense atmosphere. Linda Lynn looked at Summer Sue, and then at Yo-Yo in my arms. Finally, she covered her face and ran out crying. "She shouldn't bother you anymore." Summer Sue visibly breathed a sigh of relief. "Thank you, Sarah." "What about me? How was my acting? Can I have a strawberry ice cream?" Yo-Yo asked me, looking up. "Yes." I laughed and lifted her above my head. Summer Sue was already married before I joined the theater company. So she is not my wife, and I am not married. Summer Sue's husband is actually the director of our musical. In the recent city tour of the musical, Summer Sue's daughter, Yo-Yo, plays my daughter on stage. Although her part is only a few minutes long, we work very well together. This time, as soon as I saw Linda Lynn outside the cemetery, I quickly sent a message to Summer Sue, asking her to help. I didn't want to be entangled with Linda Lynn anymore. Maybe if she saw that I was married and had children, she would give up. The truth was just as I expected. The next night, during the performance, Linda Lynn sat in the front row again with a bouquet of flowers. She was crying throughout the entire performance. I didn't know why, and I didn't want to know. After the performance, she left the flowers backstage and left quietly. I picked up the bouquet, and there were only 3 words on it: "I'm sorry." I only hope that she can let go of the past soon. I once thought that the worst thing in my life was losing the person I loved most. But later I realized that no one is more important than myself. To love someone, you must first love yourself. If you don't cherish yourself, if you don't love yourself, how can others cherish you, how can they love you? Just like me in front of Linda Lynn, and Linda Lynn in front of Sean Jiang. Fortunately, I withdrew in time and became myself again. In the future, I just want to work hard for my career. I want to become a well-known and outstanding